Hi, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to create all of these logos in Word. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to download some of the assets that we need, some of the images and graphics that we need to complete our logos. So if we hop onto the internet very quickly, we can go to this free website called pixabay.com, and in here I'm simply going to type logos and then press enter, and then at the top here I'm going to just go down to vector graphics, and if we scroll through here you can see we've got one of 23 pages here, and we literally can just scroll through all of these images and look for something that's relatively simple. It's not complicated. Obviously it applies to your business, and you can select any of these options. Now if you see something like this with multiple options, say you just want this option here, it's absolutely fine. You can still select this image because we can crop out the rest of those images. So once you find something that you like, let's for example choose this one here because I quite like these. So let's say we wanted to choose this one. You can just go to the free download. I always select the highest PNG file here and just click download. It may ask you for an authentication, and you may have to just sign up to an email, but it's all completely free. And then all we need to do is to go to Insert, Pictures, Picture from File. Now if I go into my downloads, you can see I've got this image here. What I've done is I've transferred all of my images for this demonstration to a file, and you can see I've downloaded quite a few images. So the first image I'm going to use is this one here, and then I'm just going to click Insert. Now when you insert an image into Word, you can't move it. So select it, go to Picture Format, go to Wrap Text, and go down to In Front of Text. And now you can move that anywhere you like. Now this particular picture has quite a large border, so we're just going to crop that out. So select it, go to Picture Format and over to Crop. You can see all these black markers around it. Now I want to keep this 1:1 ratio, this square ratio. If I just move this, now you can see how it will distort. So I'm just going to Command or Control Z to go back. Once I click on this corner, I'm going to hold down my Shift key, and that will maintain that square ratio for me. So I'm just going to make a square up that will roughly get the size of that leaf inside. And then I'm going to move the picture so the leaf is within that square. And then just go back up and click on Crop. And now we've got rid of a lot of that outside space. The next thing I'm going to do is insert a text box. So Insert, Text Box, click on the drop down and select Draw Text Box. Click and draw out a text box. Now if I click away from here and I move this text box, you can see this text box has a black border and a white background. We're going to get rid of both of those, so select it, go to Shape Format, go to Shape Outline, click on the drop down and select No Outline, then go to Shape Fill, click on the drop down and select No Fill. And then in here I'm just going to type the word company, and then if I click away from this box, deselect it and click back on it, I won't have to select the actual words inside here. I can just go to the Home tab, and then I can use any of these tools here to customize my font. So for this particular font, I'm going to just click on the drop down, and for this one I'm going to use this one, Brasilia, and I'm going to take this to bold, and then I want the font size to be 36, but I also want to change the color of this font as well to match this one. So select it, go to Font Color, click on the drop down, and then if you can't see the color of your choice here and you want to match this color, go to More Colors, go to this little eyedropper tool here, and then just hover it over the green and click. And you can see the green comes up in this square here. And then just click OK, and now you have that font to match this green. Now it doesn't really matter what size font you use because what we're going to do at the end is we're going to save all of these in a particular way. If you don't save them out in a particular way, they will not work. So you do need to check out the end selection to see how you save these out correctly. So as I say, it doesn't matter how big or small. What matters is the sizes between the image that you've chosen and the font size. So you can see at the moment that this image is way too big for this font. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in. Now, when you're doing your logos, I strongly advise that you edit them at the top of your page if you're going to zoom in like this. And the reason being is if you do them at the bottom of the page, every time you click away from them or you press enter, it whizzes back up to the top of the page. It's really irritating. So what we can do is we can actually increase this font size so that we've got lots to work with. And then we can reduce the size of this. Now, this particular logo, I'm going to show you how you can link up your images with your text. So they'll actually make contact. And what we're going to do is try and make this leaf look like it's come out of the top of the P letter here. So we're just going to rotate it. Use this little circular icon here to rotate your images. And what you can do is if you click on the text and hold down the Control key and the Command key, and then use your arrow keys, you can have these little increments where you can move your text so it fits in with this line here. Now, it's never going to be perfect. This is not Illustrator, it's not Photoshop, so it does have its limitations. But you can fiddle around to make this flow into this P here, and then you can zoom out, and you can see that I think that that leaf is just a little bit too big. So what we need to do is just reduce the size of that. Now, before we link it up, let's just go back. Yeah, I think that's probably about right. A little bit smaller. There we go. And again, I can just move my arrow keys just to check that links in the way I want it to. Okay, so once you're happy, select both of them by holding down your Command or Control key. You can see I've selected both of them there. Go to Picture Format, go along to Group and select Group. And now you can move this round as one logo. Now, if I try and make this larger or smaller, look what happens. Command or Control Z to go back. So what we need to do is we need to save that out at the end when we do all of the different ones. And then you can see how we can bring them back into Word and they'll work perfectly. So the next one we'll go to Insert, Picture, Picture from File, and we're going to select this one here and click Insert. Once again, go to Picture Format, Wrap Text in front of text. It's going to reduce the size of this one. Zoom in. And then again, we're going to go to Insert, Text Box, Draw Text Box. Now, because we're going to do 5 logos, I'm now going to customize this text box as we did before. And I'm just going to write the word company, and then I'm going to make 4 additional copies of this. So I'm going to hold down my Alt key. You can copy and paste the way you normally do. I'm going to hold down my Alt key, click and drag, and then just click and drag out another one and then one more. And that means I just don't have to keep going and drawing text boxes, taking out the boundaries and taking out the background as well. So again, I'm going to now customize this text. So select the box, go to the Home tab, select your font of choice, and for this one I'm just going to choose Avenir. There we go. And then I'm going to change the font color. So again, more colors, use the eyedropper, click. Now, once you've done that, if you go up to colors again, you can see in recent colors, I have some additional colors that I've actually used the eyedropper tool before, and it will save them here for you. So once I've done that, I'm actually going to extend this to company name. And I'm also going to change the distance between each of these letters. And the way you do that is to double click inside the text box so that your cursor is showing, and then just highlight the text, then right click and go down to font. So from here, click Advanced, go to character spacing, go to spacing, and in here I'm going to put 5 you have a little preview at the bottom here, and then click OK. You can use any distance you like. It might be 10, 20, it doesn't matter, but it's just the distance between each of the letters, and click OK. And now you can see those letters have spread out. So now all I'm going to do is just increase the size of these letters using this increase font size icon here. Let's just stretch that out. And I'm also going to center this text as well. So select that text box and go to this icon here. And then I'm just going to copy and paste it. Again, I'm going to select it, hold down my Alt key, click and drag. And then I'm going to add a tagline. So just put, and then as you can see, my cursor's inside this text box. So if I make any adjustments, they won't work. I need to deselect it, reselect it without my cursor in there, go to the Home tab, and I'm just going to reduce that text until I'm happy. Round about there. And then I'm going to select both of these text boxes, holding down my Command or Control key. I'm going to go to Shape, Format, and align them to the center. So click on the drop down and align to center. So they're perfectly lined up now. Make sure the distance between them is exactly what you want. So just maybe move this up slightly. There we go. Now I'm going to select them both, go to Group and select Group. And now I'm just going to place the star on the top, reduce the size until I'm happy. So probably something like this. Then select them both. Again, picture format, align to center. Make sure again the distance between the star and the text is exactly what you want. You can make smaller increments by selecting the text. And then select them both, picture format, Group, and then once again you have your next logo. So that's a logo that's just using the image on the top, and then you've got two lines at the bottom for a company name and a tagline. So the next one we're going to do is very similar, but without using the company tagline and just using one simple word, but it will also show you how you can cut out those images we looked at earlier where you've got several of them. So let's click Insert, Picture from File, and this image here, and click Insert. Again, you can't move it, so back up to Wrap Text in front of text. And for this one, we just want this grey section here, or this grey graphic. We don't want any of the, I mean, if you want to use these other colours, then please do. So we're going to select it, Shape, Format, Crop, and then I'm just going to click over these black markers and drag up until I've cropped most of the border out, and certainly the other graphics. Once I'm happy, just click Crop, and then you've just got this graphic here. And then once again, I'm going to utilize one of these, bring that over. In fact, let's take my own advice, zoom in and put that at the top. Let's bring that to the center. So I'm going to center this again. So select it, go to the Home tab, click center. And for this one, I'm also going to choose Futura. Then I'm going to increase the font size again. And again, it doesn't really matter what the font size is because you can adjust it all at the end. I'll show you. So now we've got those words there. We're going to change the color of this text to the same grey as this using the technique we did before. So select it, go up to the Home tab, go to Font Color, More Colors, Eyedropper tool, and then just click over the grey and then just click OK. And they are now exactly the same color. Again, I'm going to reduce the size of this just so it fits in with what I want, so the look you're going for. Then again, I'm just going to select them both, holding down my Command or Control key, go to Picture Format, Align to Center, and then let's just quickly zoom out, see how that looks. I think that needs to come down a little bit, or this go up a little bit. Maybe reduce that down a little bit. And again, center them again because we've moved them all. align to center. Perfect. Okay, so again, select them both, picture format, group, and then that's your next logo. The next one we're going to do is where we can incorporate some of the text into our logo. So let's use this one and zoom in. For this one, we're going to use the font Aroni, and we're also going to space out this text a little bit more. As we did before, right click, go down to font, go to advanced, spacing, and just click 5 and enter. And for this one, we're also going to have name as well, company name. Now, once we've fully customized the text, we can then go ahead and change the first letter. So let's copy and paste this text box. And then we're just going to delete everything but the C, the letter C. Oh. And then this one, we're going to delete just the C. And then we're going to make this C a lot bigger. So select it, home, and then increase the size of this letter. And really what we want is something that will go around this O. And then we'll just move this with my arrow keys. And this is just demonstrating how you can use the letters to create your own sort of logo or incorporate them into the text in a slightly different way. Now, the other thing is I can use color and customization to also enhance your logo. So I'm going to click on this letter C, go to shape format, and go along to format pane. On here, there's a menu, click on the text options, and then click on the first A here and go to text fill. And this is essentially the color of your text. So I'm going to select gradient fill here. And now because I've already rehearsed this, my colors are already in. So in order to change your gradients, here you've got a little marker. You can move this backwards and forwards, and that will slightly change the gradient in your letter. You can click on this, click on the drop down and select from any colors of your color wheel, and you can see how that changes. If I select another color, say yellow, again you can see how that will change. So let's go back to my original pink color. Again, you do this with this side here, and you can add markers if you want to. So select one in the middle. Again, you can change this if you want to, and you can see what sort of effect that has. It's really versatile, and you can really go to town on all of your different colors. So now I've selected that, I'm happy with the first one. You can leave it like this if you want to, but I'm also going to change this text color as well. I'm going to go to solid fill, but I'm only going to use one color for this and just use that pink color. Again, once you're happy, select them both, go to group and select group, and again you've got your next logo. And finally, we're just going to do one more, and this is how to incorporate a graphic into the text itself. So go to insert, picture from file. We're going to select this one here and click insert, and then zoom in. And with this one, we're going to select text that we've used before, which is this Futura one. And again, we're going to copy and paste this out because we need to break it up. In fact, let's change the color of this text first. More colors. And we're just going to select the blue, click OK. Now we're going to copy and paste it. And I'm just going to take out the O and the C. And on this one, we'll take out everything but the C. And we're going to use this as the O. So let's just move all of this around a bit. Okay, so we can't move this, so select it, picture format, wrap text in front of text. And now we're just going to zoom in a bit more. I should have made this a little bit bigger. In fact, let's change the font size of all of this because it just makes it a little bit easier. So we've changed that to 48, change this to 48 as well. There we go. And now we're going to try and make this star roughly the same size as this C. So if I just pop that over the top, that's roughly the same size as the C, the same sort of height. And then we're going to try and line that up. Now, in order to line the C up with the rest of this text, if I move this cursor up, you can see where it starts to interfere with the letter. If I just pull that down once, and again here, just pull it up until it interferes and then pull it down once. So the margin between this letter and this line should be the same on both. So when we select them both, holding down the Command or Control key, I go to Format, and then I go to Align. If I go to Align to the bottom, it means everything will line up here, but also the margin or the space here will be the same for the C and the M. Now all I need to do is space this graphic where I want it. So instead of moving the graphic, for some reason I can't move the graphic in small increments with my arrow key. So I have to move the text instead. So you can see I've moved the C down now, so I'll have to realign that. So the spacing is roughly there. Let's just align these two again because I nudged it. There we go. And then zoom out and see if that works. I think I'm just going to nudge this up one. Nudge this one up one. Perfect. Once you're happy with it, just select them all. Picture format, group, and then select group. Perfect. So now we have all 5 of our different logos. And now we need to know how to save these out. Now, as I said to you before, if you now select it and you try and adjust it or make it bigger or smaller, you can see what happens. It's a bit of a mess. So what you need to do is right click on your logos, right click, go to Save as Picture. I'm going to save mine to my desktop. Click Save. Let's move this one down and then go to Insert, Picture, Picture from File, Desktop. There's my picture. Insert. I can't move it, so select it. Wrap text in front of text. And now, I'm going to make this bigger or smaller. You can see it works. So now that's saved as a PNG, which means there's a clear background. You see there's no background to this at all, it's just text. And so you can do that with everything. So I hope that's helped you today. If it has, please like and subscribe and have a great day.